Hello everyone, and for MLG TV, this is going to be Nursky bringing you game number 2 of this championship losers bracket matchup. First off, spawning as our Blue Terran, ended up losing game number 1, going to be looking to tie this series back up 1-1 and take it into a game number 3 if possible. Painuser and his opponent, spawning as our Red Zerg, ended up winning game number 1, used a very interesting, not so much new, but a little less often seen mass infester style of play into some very fast brood lords. Worked very effectively for him. Orly. For map number 2, we are going to be on the map MLG Dual Site. Now, obviously, this map originally made popular by the GSL, ported over to the MLG. Do like that choice by MLG. Do actually really like this map. It is a 2-player map, obviously. A lot has been talked about this map, but a very good map. Like, definitely can lead to some very macro-oriented games. Russia is still entirely possible on this map, but a lot of expansions, a lot of potential for you to really get some really nice long games out of this map, especially if you are on fairly equal skill terms with your opponent. I do see Painuser just gearing up with 1 Rax right now. Has not taken any of his gases yet. Does have a second SCV moving out, I'm assuming to scout. But actually, it looks like he stops his SCV, so he might be, yes, he is going to be putting down a second barracks here. So it's going to be going with a 2 barracks rush in this game number 2. So going to be looking to apply a little bit of pressure to our Zerg player, who is going hatch first, does not even have his pool down yet. Is going to be taking the slightly later pool and hatch type of style for this hatch first. Now we do see Orly is going to be scouting in. We'll see this first barracks. Should be able to count that there is no gases. Now the question is, will he be fooled and think that Painuser is just going to 1-Rax expand here in this game number 2, or will he actually spot that second barracks? Now, with the position of this barracks, it is very reminiscent of those old GSL Maka Raxes where you used to put them in the natural and they used to always get found. The question is, will he really spot it? He is going to be extremely close, and yes, he will spot the barracks, so he does know that the 2 Rax rush is underway. I wouldn't have minded if maybe Painuser just set that Rax maybe a little bit further out of sight, maybe over by his 3rd or something. Would have probably made this rush a lot more effective. Now the question will be, will Painuser actually still go through with this rush, or will he just back up? Does have an SCV milling about over here near the expansion natural of Orly. We see Orly already pulling 3 drones to try and chase this single SCV around. Does not want to let this SCV actually get anywhere near starting a bunker by his base. Not going to be retreating those drones temporarily, throwing down 1, 2 spine crawlers, building 8 lings right away. So a very quick reaction here from Orly. Is going to be going to defend this whether it does come or not, but we do see it is actually on the way. I do believe Orly got some spotting of these Marines as they were coming out of the base with this forward overlord. Do see the first bunker now going down, second bunker going down as well. The question is, will Orly be able to stop these bunkers from going up? Does now have a bunch of lings out, going to be moving forward, pokes at the SCV, backs up, now going to be wrapping around here. Looks like he's going to try and intercept these incoming Marines. Going to get very close to doing a little bit of damage to that 1 Marine, though. Marine will get through, though, doing a little bit more damage to this Marine, but that Marine will get through as well. So all the Marines have gotten through so far. Still really heading towards Painuser's base. This next Marine will actually just sneak by here. So we're really now going to be trying to intercept this Marine. We'll pick this Marine off. More Marines also on the way here for Painuser, but we do see we're really trying to actually intercept these Marines. We'll get another one of them, so it is going to stop the reinforcements. We see over here at the front of Orly's base, that first bunker is complete now, hammering away at the hatchery. Looks like he does actually have a couple of his Marines back at the second bunker. Wouldn't have necessarily minded them actually up here to help do damage here, as we do see the spine crawlers actually focusing on the bunker, but we do see these SCVs doing a good job of repairing this bunker and actually still doing a lot of damage to this hatchery, way under half its hit points already, almost down to 600 health power now. And now we see, here comes Orly with the rest of his links, pulling a bunch of his drones, going to try and take this bunker out, going to be extremely close. SCVs still repairing, but SCVs are not clearing up. Does take out the bunker, and then we see Painuser retreating back to the secondary bunker. Both these spine crawlers still pretty healthy. 10 more lings on the way. If we look at the income tab right now, Painuser actually up 18 harvesters, is just the 15 of Orly. So a early lead here for Painuser. Does have a second command center on the way. Plenty of Marines out here at the front of his base. 3rd barracks on the way as well. Has taken 1 of his gases, so he will be able to get a tech lab up. Probably will get that stim rather quickly once again. Would not be surprised at all if he did do that. We do see O'Reilly is going to be trying to counter with some of his lings, or at least try and delay this expansion if he can, because he knows it will be coming. Painuser surprisingly actually just leaving these Marines hang out over here. Potentially could try and get up into the main, but of course there's a clean blocking his way right now. See O'Reilly poking forward, does try to stop that SCV from getting this bunker up, but now he is going to need to retreat with these lings because there's just too many Marines there. Does not have ling speed even started yet. Is now mining gas, getting up to 50 gas now. Does have that spawning pool down, building a lot of drones now, so it is going to be starting to get his economy back up. We do see Painuser right now does have the orbital command on the way here with that expansion command center. Continually building SCVs out of here. Do like that. If we look at the income tab, you see O'Reilly actually pulling quite a bit back into the lead now. 32 harvesters to 22 harvesters for Painuser. So Painuser no longer ahead in the harvester count, but has at the bare minimum made his expansion quite secure. Really needs to get this command center moved. Is going to move it almost right away upon finishing the orbital command. I do see the metabolic boost upgrade now on the way for O'Reilly, and over here at the front of the base, we do see Painuser actually just going to sacrifice that bunker, salvages it, and is going to try and retreat with these Marines back home to his base. Do see now Stim is going to be on the way for Painuser, factory on the way as well. Does have this expansion command center down, and now over here it looks like these Marines might run into these lings. Going to be extremely close. We'll have spy on these lings. Is going to attack them. Lings coming in. Very good movement there by Painuser, doing a lot of damage to these lings. Lings getting extremely low on health. Very good movement by Painuser. Does lose some of these Marines, but does look like O'Reilly is going to be forced to retreat before he does end up losing all of these lings. So is going to be forced to back up. If we look at the income tab right now, 45 harvesters to just the 28 of Painuser. So Painuser actually falling quite a bit behind in the harvester count. Now, of course, he does have mules to help make up for some of that economy, but is going to need to definitely get a lot of harvesters built here. Tech Lab on the way on the factory. Stim just about halfway done. Also does have an engineering bay down and is getting his +1 for his ground weapons. Do see O'Reilly now does have the ling speed, and upon getting ling speed is going to put down a very fast third hatchery. Do like that move by O'Reilly. Needs to make sure he can stay on plus bases to Painuser, or otherwise as Painuser does get max harvesters on those two bases, he will get incredibly far ahead of O'Reilly. You do see the layer is on the way as well. Does have a macro hatchery along with an evolution chamber going down here in the main. Going to be interested to see exactly what upgrade route he is going to decide to go. Looks like he's going to be going for the ling upgrades. Question is going to be, are we going to see that mass infestor style once again, or are we going to see him maybe go with a more standard style play? We already see a little bit of a deviation as a baneling nest on the way, so very well could go into the more ling and baneling muta style play, the more traditional style of Zerg versus Terran play. Do you see the first tank is out? Siege tech is on the way. Starport on the way as well. Is going to be getting a 4th barracks. Stim will finish up momentarily. Going to have more tanks on the way. I have to wait and see if Painuser tries to do an aggressive push here with those tanks and Marines, or if he will kind of sit back and play more defensively, just try and get up a large army. Does have a slight supply advantage right now over O'Reilly. His hatchery obviously still extremely low, so would not be surprised if Painuser want to apply some pressure. And now we do see we will get our answer. Spire is on the way upon the layer completion, so it is going to be going just ling, baneling, muta here in this game number 2. Painuser now up to 2 tanks. Siege mode nearing completion. Combat shields on the way as well. Do see a 3rd tank on the way. Going to be interested to see if Painuser does decide to move out. Do see O'Reilly's 3rd is now up. Going to be getting both of his extractors right away. Is going to be building some drones right away for that 3rd base as well. Bunch of lings moving around the map right now for O'Reilly. Could be actually going in for a counter. Looks like Painuser's actually moving out, though, at the same time. Actually, surprisingly, stimmed up for just a couple of lings. A little bit of an overstim there. And now a lot of lings over here in the natural of Painuser. Will he be able to hold this? Needs to repair this bunker. If this bunker goes down, it could be absolutely huge. And now we do see the bunker does go down. And right now, Painuser losing a lot of SCVs, having to retreat them back there. But still, is going to lose a ton of his SCVs here to O'Reilly. Does look like he will eventually clean up these lings, but he's going to lose a ton of SCVs in the process done. Meanwhile, over here in the natural, we see Painuser blitzing forward. Is going to be going after this hatchery to try and inflict some equal damage onto O'Reilly. O'Reilly is going to lose the hatchery. Now moving forward with a lot of his lings and his banelings. Will he get some good Marine hits? Yes, will kill a bunch of Marines. But there is still quite a few Marines for Painuser left. We now see O'Reilly is going to be forced to pull all of those drones and try and attack into these Marines. Now these Marines very low on health. This medevac out of energy, not able to actually heal these up anymore. The drone's going to be attacking these tanks, but right now both players losing a lot of forces, and now finally both attacks will end. Painuser's going to be sending some of his SCVs back over here to the natural. absolutely chaotic battle, guys. If we look at the workers kill tab, we do see Painuser ended up getting 25 workers and 133 units so far this game. O'Reilly just getting 17 of Painuser's workers, and also we'll have 57 units killed. So worker advantage to Painuser in those trades. If we look at the income tab overall, we do see right now O'Reilly with just a slight lead in harvesters, 41 to 35. So I definitely would say Painuser got the better end of that trade-off. I do see that the Baneling nest has the centrifugal hooks are now complete. Drop on the way for Painuser will be spotted by the sling, so I'll have to wait and see if O'Reilly does react to this and if he has indeed seen it. 9 mutas on the way for O'Reilly. The single medevac hanging out over here. Now obviously these mutas will easily pick off this single medevac. Actually moving towards the other medevac, dropping down, and Painuser might actually just lose both of these drops for almost nothing, and that was definitely not a good plan there for Painuser. The one medevac he left behind actually just leading the entire Zerg army over to this medevac that was dropping. Probably should have sent that in a different direction. Third command center now on the way for Painuser. We do see he does have the +1 armor for his ground infantry is on the way as well. A couple of tanks sieged up. Does have a decent wall in at his front, so it would be hard for O'Reilly to assault this, but right now Painuser actually not in the best of positions. Looking at the income, has caught up quite a bit in the harvester count, now sitting at 43 to the 47 of O'Reilly, so definitely not in a bad position, but O'Reilly is in a somewhat decent position, does at least have map control at this point in time. Going to be scouting around to Painuser's possible thirds, and going to be getting ready to poke in now with these mutas to the main of Painuser. Painuser does have some missile turrets up, and one more missile turret on the way will complete before the mutas get there. Great timing with those missile turrets, but there might actually be a little bit of a hole. Mutas might be able to actually poke in here. Yes, they will. Here goes the Marines stimming up to go after these mutalisks. Does have to force the stim to get these mutas out of his base. Mutas though going to try and swing around over here towards the natural. Only just this one turret over here defending the natural, but now here comes some Marines, and actually O'Reilly could lose a couple of mutas for free essentially. Does have these mutas boxed in now with these Marines. Some good Marine movement here. He could actually keep these mutas contained, but no, mutas will find a small hole to actually get out of there, and they will escape without him losing any more of his mutalisks. You see he does have his natural expansion back up once again. Does have the +1 air attacks just now finishing up. No fourth base on the way just yet. Does have a macro hatchery, however. Is still getting his upgrades +2, +1 on the way. And it looks like Painuser is actually gearing up for another really big move out. You see just a few Marines in the front stimming, like that move by Painuser, just stimming a handful of the Marines forward to actually attack those mutas. And now we see Painuser moving out towards the third base. O'Reilly is going to be gearing up for the defense here. Needs to be careful because there is quite a few siege tanks, but Painuser needs to make sure he does not overextend with these Marines. Very close there. Needs to get the medevacs closer to the Marines so that they actually can get healed up, leaving smartly a few of his Marines behind to deal with these mutas. That will force the mutas to back off. But right now, actually, the muta count might be high enough, but no, here comes some reinforced Marines. That is going to force O'Reilly back, but O'Reilly's just going to go for it. Question is, will O'Reilly be able to take this out? A lot of Banelings getting wasted on those siege tanks, and here comes some more reinforcements for Painuser, and actually O'Reilly could be in a lot of trouble. We see him evacuating all the drones from this third, does not want to lose the drones, and it looks like O'Reilly is going to lose his third base. And yes, Painuser will be able to take this out. O'Reilly is forced to condense back here down to his natural, building a lot of Banelings here to try and defend. Expanding way down here to the gold base now, as he does have a mobility advantage over Painuser with those siege tanks, since he does have a muta-based army. Do see he is going to be coming in here from the side, might be trying to get back at these tanks once again. Should actually be able to take out this handful of Marines. Just a handful of Marines not guarding these tanks. Is going to have to retreat the rest of these Marines to defend these tanks. Will actually manage to do that. Painuser though with a 1 Aaron tank moving forward. No, will be able to defend. Needs to get these Marines out of the way, but no! Miss micros to Marines, almost no micro from them whatsoever. And actually really gets a lot of Marines. Will get a tank for free as well. Might even get 2 tanks as the tanks actually rally in. And now Painuser is actually in danger of losing this entire force. So a little bit of mismanagement there by Painuser is actually going to cost him a lot of tanks and Marines now. Just did not stim those Marines and move them in time. Lost them all to the Banelings of O'Reilly, and now O'Reilly is going to clean up. You see Painuser sending a lot of his forces over here to this third base to try and defend it. These muta counts are somewhat low, has been losing a lot of mutalisks while he has been pushing in, but behind us O'Reilly has managed to double expand now. Gold base is up. going to have another base on the way, a new third base over here at this just regular expansion. We do see he is going to get ready to move in here with all these mutas. No Thor in sight that will allow these mutas to ball up and be a lot more effective. Here comes some Banelings. Going to try and actually press through the front of Painuser's defenses. Will Painuser be able to hold this? Will be the question, though. Dangerously close to losing all these Marines to the Banelings. You see Painuser trying to reinforce units, 6 Marines at a time. Right now, Painuser's mineral is actually getting up very high, kind of losing control of his macro as far as these Marine numbers go. And right now, he could be paying for it, because here we go with O'Reilly cleaning up almost everything in Painuser's third. And there's the GG, well played. And O'Reilly will advance, knocking Painuser out 2-0. Absolutely excellently played. 2 games by Orly. Was under a lot of pressure at times, but bounced back to win both of these games. So for MLG TV, guys, this is going to be Nerski saying peace easy, guys. I will see you at my next cast.